Welcome to Live Parkinson's, Live an Exceptional Life. I'm your host, Chris Custenbotter, and I've been living an exceptional life with Parkinson's for the past 14 years. The mission of this podcast is to help as many people as possible living with Parkinson's live a great quality of life. Today's episode is Beyond Medication, Harnessing the Power of Exercise for Parkinson's. What if the key to slowing Parkinson's wasn't in a pill bottle, but in your own 2 feet? Join us as we uncover the untapped power of exercise to transform lives, boost brain health, and redefine what's possible for people with Parkinson's. Whether you're a patient, caregiver, or simply curious, this episode will change the way you think about Parkinson's beyond medication. All right, I'm just going to say it. I love to exercise. I know many of you may think I'm crazy, thinking who loves exercise? Well, let me tell you why I love exercise and why I'm passionate about sharing the importance and the need to exercise if you have Parkinson's. As I mentioned in previous podcasts, I played high school and college sports. And then after I got married, my wife, Mary, she loves to exercise, so it was only natural for me to keep exercising. We would go to the gym together and participate in different fitness classes. However, after having children and helping with the activities they participated in, managing work and family life, exercise started to become a chore. I wasn't as excited to exercise like I was in my 20s. So for about a 10-year period from my early 30s to my early 40s, exercise was just another thing on my to-do list, and it would often slip lower and lower on the priority list. It began to show in my health. My blood pressure and cholesterol went up. I gained weight, and I felt lethargic a lot. Then in my early 40s, I decided I needed to get healthier and start eating better and incorporated some exercise back into my daily routine. Okay, you may be thinking that incorporating some exercise back into my daily routine doesn't actually equate to loving exercise. So what changed? Well, that's a fair question. In my mid-40s, I was about to have a major wake-up call. After experiencing a mild tremor that got progressively worse and dragging my left leg when I walked, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's at age 46. I told a movement disorder specialist some of the other symptoms I had experienced several years before, and he said that's probably when you started to develop Parkinson's. Well, let's just say it was a wake-up call. I had 2 children at home, and I was working a full-time job where I was on the road every day. So I realized I had 2 choices. I could either give in to Parkinson's and let it control my life and just drop out of all the activities I enjoyed and just stay at home. After all, who wants to be around someone who's shaking all the time, right? Or I could face Parkinson's head on and take control of my life and my health. So after my diagnosis, I spent the next 2 months researching everything I could about Parkinson's, and I also studied people who were still doing exceptional things after their Parkinson's diagnosis. What were these people doing that allowed them to run marathons, swim bay swims, climb mountains, play musical instruments, sing in choruses? So what I did after studying both these exceptional people and all the clinical research that was out there is I condensed my research down and developed 4 strategies that were going to be my guideposts for living a great life with Parkinson's. They were exercise, nutrition, optimism, and positivity, and then social interaction in community. Now, if you notice, the first one I mentioned was exercise. The reason for that is because the study showed that exercise was one of the keys to slowing the progression of the disease. So, exercise became my passion again. I was determined to exercise every day so that I could continue to do the things that I love to do. I decided to try all different types of exercise to find things I really loved, and plus that way I wouldn't get bored. Now today, 14 years later, at the age of 61 here in about 2 to 3 weeks, I still exercise every day, and I participate in spin classes, water aerobics, yoga, and stretching classes. I ride my bike, I walk, lift weights, box, and do lap swimming. So exercise has changed my life and helped me live a great quality of life, or as I like to say, an exceptional life with Parkinson's. And again, that's subjective. I just happen to be a positive person, so I'm still able to do a lot of the things that I used to do, maybe not as fast or maybe not as well, but to me, I'm leading an exceptional life. So, in this episode, I want to share the science behind why exercise is one of the keys to helping you lead a great quality of life after your Parkinson's diagnosis, and how it is a great complement to your medications and will be beneficial for both your physical and your cognitive health. So I hope you'll join me in this podcast so you can begin to include exercise in your daily routine and live your best life with Parkinson's. So in this episode, here's what we'll be discussing. We'll start off with the science behind exercise and look at the neurological and physiological benefits of exercise for people living with Parkinson's. And then we'll delve into exercise and dopamine and look at how exercise can help stimulate dopamine production, which we all know is crucial for movement. And a lot of us, the medications we take are to supplement dopamine. Then we'll discuss tailoring exercise programs for Parkinson's. We'll look at assessing your needs, discuss different types of exercise and the frequency and the intensity of exercise, providing some guidelines to help you on your journey. And then we'll move on to discuss overcoming exercise challenges, because believe it or not, we are all going to face exercise challenges, and they would include fatigue, lack of motivation, tremors, and balance issues, and then, of course, fear of falling. Then it's on to the benefits of exercise, and then we tie it all together at the end. So if you're looking to help slow the progression of Parkinson's and live the life you want, join me on this life-changing discussion. All right, let's dive in and talk the science behind exercise and why it's so important. Let's start with the benefits of exercise. According to the Parkinson's Foundation, in their article, Exercise and PD, they state that research has shown the following positive impacts of exercise. These include people who start exercising earlier experience a significantly slower decline in quality of life than those who start later. So let me say that again. People who start exercising earlier experience a significant slower decline in the quality of life than those who start later. So it's important once you're diagnosed that you start exercising right away to reap the benefits. Engaging in any level of physical activity is beneficial and can improve motor symptoms. The example they discuss includes aerobic exercise, which improves your fitness, and walking exercises assist with your gait, and resistance training strengthens your muscles. Aerobic exercise can improve age-related changes in executive function, which is a type of thinking affected in Parkinson's. And that's one of the things that I have trouble with, where you have trouble prioritizing. And now, reported benefits from people participating in exercise, according to the article, include improvements in gait and balance, flexibility and posture, movement coordination, endurance and balance, working memory and decision-making, attention and concentration, and quality of sleep. That's a pretty good list of benefits, if you ask me, from exercising. So hopefully you're starting to see the importance of exercising. Now, research on exercise and Parkinson's suggests that people with PD do at least 2.5 hours of exercise every week for a better quality of life. Now, this would be equal to doing 30 minutes a day of exercise 5 times a week. So if you think about it, that's pretty doable, right? We all have 30 minutes to take out of our busy schedule to improve our health. So let's turn our attention now to the neurological benefits of exercise. Exercise can offer a lot of significant neurological benefits for people living with Parkinson's. And let's look at some of the key ways exercise can positively affect your brain. This is an article published by the Yale School of Medicine by Isabella Beckman on February 23rd, 2024. So just recently. And it's titled, High Intensity Exercise May Reverse Neurodegeneration in Parkinson's Disease. So when I saw that headline, of course, that immediately grabbed my attention, and I had to read the article. And the article states that high-intensity exercise induces brain protective effects that have the potential to not just slow down, but possibly reverse the neurodegeneration associated with Parkinson's. Let me say that again, that high-intensity exercise induces brain protective effects that have the potential to not just slow down the disease, but possibly to reverse the neurodegeneration associated with Parkinson's. Now, that's outstanding, if you ask me. The key word in that statement was reverse, not just slow down neurodegeneration. Now, the article states that a small proof of concept study involving 10 patients showed that high-intensity aerobic exercise preserved dopamine-producing neurons, the brain cells that are most vulnerable to destruction in Parkinson's. In fact, after 6 months of exercise, the neurons had actually grown healthier and produced stronger dopamine signals. Now, that's fascinating if you ask me. The article quotes Dr. Sul Tinez, MD, PhD, who says, "The medications we have available are only for symptomatic treatment. They do not change the disease course. But exercise seems to go one step beyond and protect the brain at the neuronal level." Now, are you starting to see why exercise is so important in your Parkinson's journey? All right. After that fascinating news, let's look at the other neurological benefits of exercise, leading it off with stimulating neuroplasticity. Wait, what did you say? Yes, I said stimulating neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity, and that's quite a mouthful, is the ability of the brain to form new connections and pathways, and exercise can encourage your brain to do that. So if you think of, muscle memory and whether you're learning to play an instrument or you're learning to do a new skill, neuroplasticity allows you to build those new connections to be able to learn the new skill. Now, this is important because it can help compensate for the loss of brain cells associated with Parkinson's. Next up is increasing dopamine production. Research suggests that exercise may stimulate the production of dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter deficient in people with Parkinson's. Again, that's why typically we supplement the medication we take is usually some type of carbidopa, levodopa, or dopamine or a dopamine agonist. Increased dopamine levels can help improve motor function and reduce symptoms. Now, I know personally I take a fair amount of dopamine to help me with my motor symptoms, but if I can get an added boost from exercise, then I'm all for it. Next is reducing inflammation. Exercise can help reduce inflammation in the brain, which is thought to be a contributor to the progression of Parkinson's. One of the previous podcasts I did, I talked about neuroinflammation as one of the areas that they're currently studying in Parkinson's research. Studies have shown that exercise can help improve cognitive function, including memory, attention, and problem-solving skills. And then the final benefit is protecting brain cells. Exercise may help protect brain cells from damage and degeneration, potentially slowing the progression of Parkinson's. Now, that's a pretty impressive list of benefits that exercise can have on your brain and the progression of the disease, if you ask me. Not that anybody's asking me, but I just wanted to give you my opinion. No, just kidding. I did want to state that it's important to consult your healthcare professional before you start any exercise program, especially if you have Parkinson's. They're going to help you tailor an exercise program or plan that can help you maximize the benefits while reducing the risks, and it's going to be tailored for your specific health needs. All right, now we've looked at the neurological benefits, which are pretty substantial. Now let's look at some of the physiological benefits. Yes, exercise can have many positive effects on your body, and here they are. So let's pull back the curtain and see what we have. So leading us off is improved muscle strength and endurance. Yes, regular, and that's the key word here, regular, physical activity can maintain muscle strength and endurance, which can improve your balance, coordination, and your overall mobility. Now, if you just like the guy in the Planet Fitness commercial who said, "I pick things up and put them down," it's important to add strength training to your exercise regimen. Number 2, enhance cardiovascular health. Exercise can strengthen the heart, improve your blood circulation, and lower your blood pressure. Exercise can also improve your balance and coordination, which can reduce your risk of falls and injuries. Weight management. Exercise can help with weight management, which is something I definitely need. And exercise can reduce fatigue, which is common in Parkinson's. Using stretching exercises can help improve your flexibility and your range of motion. Now, for stretching exercises, check out my podcast on stretching and or read my latest article on liveparkinsons.com entitled 8 Proven Stretching Exercises for Better Flexibility with Parkinson's. Now, a benefit we often don't think about is increased bone density. Weight-bearing exercises can help prevent bone loss, which can lead to osteoporosis. And osteoporosis can have some devastating effects. If a person falls and fractures their hip, they have a 20% chance of dying within the next 12 months. Plus, a lot of times you see people with osteoporosis where the vertebrae start to collapse on each other and they get that really hunched over look, and it can be painful as well. And then finally, better sleep quality. Since many of us have sleep issues or disturbances, exercise can help as a means to get you better sleep quality. All right, now that we see all the benefits of exercise on both our brains and our bodies, it's time to move on to tailoring exercise programs for Parkinson's. Now, I'm not a medical professional, and I don't even play one on TV, and I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, and I'm also not a certified personal trainer. So I want to stress that step one is having your individual needs assessed by your healthcare professional and or a physical therapist and a certified personal trainer to help you create a personalized exercise plan that meets your specific needs and health status. So it's important to let them know what specific types of exercise you enjoy so that they can help incorporate those into your exercise program so that you can reap all the wonderful benefits that exercise can provide. Now, a key is, remember, you need to be consistent. Consistency is the key. So if you're not enjoying the exercise program they design, you're not going to do it. Now, the nice thing is there are several categories or types of exercise that you can consider incorporating into your exercise program. Starting off, and I would suggest that you try to include all of these because they're going to give you different benefits and help you on your Parkinson's journey to live a better quality of life. The first is aerobic exercise. And some of you may be asking, what is aerobic exercise? Well, it's actually referred to, most people call it cardio, and it involves doing sustained physical activity that increases your heart rate and your breathing. And it's going to use your large muscle groups, typically in your legs, arms, back, and shoulder, in a repetitive manner to help you improve your cardiovascular health, as well as your overall fitness level. Aerobic exercises would include things like walking, jogging, swimming, cycling, dancing. So if you have a friend, lace up your sneakers and go for a brisk walk. Or if you're like me, put your earbuds in and then listen to the music that you like, and as you go for a walk. No, I used to walk with my wife, but she walks so fast that I can't keep up with her anymore. Another thing you can do is join a walking group or start one on your own. Consider swimming. Several months ago, before I started having some problems with some headaches, I was able to swim a mile 3 days a week. And I kind of got away from that. And I'm currently in the process of trying to build my stamina back up. And I'm currently at a half a mile now. So I will tell you that swimming, especially if you're new to swimming laps, it's going to take a little while to build up. You might only do 4 laps the first day and then continue to build on that. So it does take time, but it's really worth the effort. It's a good overall total body workout. And again, you want to start easy and then build into it. Now, cycling is another good option. You can ride a bike or take a spin class. Now, if you don't have the balance for a regular or a stationary bike, consider a recumbent bike where you get to sit down and pedal. That'll help you with your balance. But cycling's a good cardiovascular exercise, and I try to do that at least twice a week. And then finally, dancing. It's a great cardio workout, and you consider things like a Zumba class or try the tango, or there's all kinds of other forms of interpretive dance out there. Now, me personally, I have 2 left feet, and I spent the money that my mom gave me for dance lessons on something else. So I'm just not the greatest dancer. So that's not something that I typically incorporate, but that may be something that you do. You may really like it. Now, the next is strength training. Now, I've said this before, but I want to state it again. You don't have to go to the gym and lift heavy weights to reap the benefits of strength training. I know a lot of people get intimidated when they go to the gym and they see these people lifting these heavy weights and they feel embarrassed and they don't want to do any type of strength training because, well, everybody's going to be looking at me. In fact, you can lift light weights. I lift light weights in my basement, or I go to the gym and I do lighter weights, and I just do more repetitions. So it doesn't matter if you use a 3, 5, or 10-pound dumbbells. Do what you're capable of. Remember, nobody's judging you. In fact, many of the people are more than willing to help you. And I would recommend having a physical therapist or a certified trainer develop a strength training program for you that covers all the big muscle groups. That would include your legs, your arms, shoulder, back, and of course, we can't forget the core or our abs. So make sure you incorporate those as well. Have them demonstrate the exercise and then watch that you're using proper form. Proper form is key to help preventing injury. So if you can have someone show you the proper form, and it's always, this is just a suggestion, but it's always best to have an exercise buddy when you do strength training because you can spot each other and they can help you with your form as well. And again, you don't have to use fancy equipment or dumbbells for strength training. You can use resistance bands. You can also use household items like cans of food, like a big can of baked beans for doing curls and shoulder presses. You could use water bottles. Be creative. You can use empty suitcases to do squats. There's all kinds of things that you can do. But strength training, it's an important part of your exercise to prevent muscle loss, which is an ongoing problem as we get older. Okay, the next thing that I would suggest to include is balance exercises. Now, I do these every day to help me maintain and improve my balance. And I do a series of different exercises, and after several years of practice, I've probably been doing them for 5 or 7 years, I can do these really well. So the key is to start small and use support like a wall, a desk, or some other type of stationary object for support. Now, I have a free resource on liveparkinsons.com. It's 9 balance exercises for better balance with Parkinson's that you can get. Just go to liveparkinsons.com, scroll down on the homepage, and you'll see 9 balance exercises for better balance with Parkinson's, and you can click on that and download. Now, I'll put a link in the podcast description as well. And I also have an article on liveparkinsons.com entitled Parkinson's and Balance Training, 10 proven exercises for better balance that I'll link to in the description as well. Now, I can honestly say these exercises have helped me prevent falling. While I've had a few close calls, I was able to catch myself. And I think it's because I do these balance exercises on a consistent basis. Now, I do like to joke and say that I'm a weeble, and weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. And if you're not familiar with weebles were a toy when I was growing up, and that was their key tagline, weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. You can also consider Tai Chi or yoga for balance as another option. Finally, another important key in the exercise program for Parkinson's is flexibility and stretching exercises. Now, I don't know about you, but as my Parkinson's progresses, I get stiff very easily, and it has an effect on my mobility. So in fact, if I get in the car and I have to ride for an hour or two and get out, I am very stiff. It takes me a minute or so to stretch out when I get out of the car just so that I can start to move better. Otherwise, it's going to be a real chore to walk. Now, I'll be honest with you, I didn't always like stretching. In fact, if you listen to my previous podcast on stretching, I go into the whole thing. Playing sports, it's like I don't see the need for stretching. After having Parkinson's, I see the need for stretching. So to me, it's very important, and I think stretching is a great option to help you as well. So for me, stretching's the key. Now, I do stretching exercises at least 3 times per week, and I try for more. I try to do it, as many as 5 times, just to help me reduce stiffness. Now, you can ask a physical therapist or a certified personal trainer for some stretching exercises for all the major muscle groups. And then I have a stretching article on exercise and stretching for flexibility that was developed with a personal trainer with expertise in Parkinson's. So what are some of the guidelines in frequency and intensity for exercising? So now we know what some of the key components are for tailoring your exercise, but how often should we do them and at what intensity? Is there any guidelines out there? Well, that's a great question. And thanks for asking, by the way. Parkinson's Foundation, in their article, New Exercise Recommendations for the Parkinson's Community and Educational Professionals from May 25th of 2021, and they worked in collaboration with the American College of Sports Medicine, and they provide recommendations on the frequency of exercise for people with Parkinson's, and here are their recommendations. So for aerobic activity, they say that you should do that 3 days a week for at least 30 minutes per session of continuous or intermittent exercise at moderate to vigorous intensity. The types of exercise recommended include brisk walking, running, cycling, swimming, and aerobics classes. Strength training is up next. And again, it's 2 to 3 days per week on non-consecutive days for at least 30 minutes per session of 10 to 15 reps for each of the major muscle groups: your legs, your arms, shoulders, back, and abs. Resistance, speed, or power focus should be what you're looking for with strength training. Now, types of strength training would include weight machines, resistance bands, light to moderate handheld weights, and or just your body weight. Some people use the TRX straps that you might see at a gym, but simply doing push-ups and other things with your body weight is an acceptable option as well. Balance and agility and multitasking. You should do this 2 to 3 days per week with daily integration if possible. So the more you can work on your balance and agility and multitasking could be throwing in some cognitive things like saying the months of the year backwards or spelling things backwards and forwards. Some different types of balance and agility and multitasking exercises include multi-directional stepping, weight shifting, dynamic balance activities, large movements like taking lunges, big opening stretches, and then some additional multitasking such as yoga, tai chi, dance, or boxing are also other options. Stretching. You should do that 2 to 3 days per week, with daily being the most effective. And types include sustained stretching with deep breathing or dynamic breathing before exercise. So sustained stretching would be if you're stretching your hamstring, you hold it for 30 seconds with deep breathing. Dynamic stretching mimics what you're going to be doing with the exercise. So if you're boxing, it may be you're doing jabs and uppercuts slowly to stretch before you get into the boxing routine. The article also notes that it's important to modify and progress your exercise routine over time. So you want to start to see progress, and you also want to make sure that you're modifying your program so that your body doesn't become used to it. And they also say to participate in 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise per week. Now, I just wanted to share my personal workout schedule just to give you a flavor for how you can meet the Parkinson's Foundation guidelines for exercise to help improve your Parkinson's journey. Now, this is just what I do, and it really helps me. Now, again, I'm retired, so I have a little bit more time. But what I tend to do when I first get up in the wee hours of the morning is I'll do 10 minutes of stretching and 10 minutes of balance work. And then later on, I'll sneak downstairs and in the basement and lift some weights. And then I might attend a yoga class. And then on Tuesdays, the same thing. I get up and I stretch, do the balance exercises, and then I'll do lap swimming, which usually, if I swim a mile, it takes me about 40 to 45 minutes. And then I also take a deep water exercise class, which I really enjoy. And on Wednesdays, I wake up and do the stretching and balance again. And then I usually do a brisk walk for about 45 minutes. And then I also throw in about 30 minutes of lifting weights. So you can see I did alternate days, so Monday and Wednesday. And then Thursday, I do the balance and stretching exercises. Again, I do 45 minutes of swimming and the deep water class. And then Fridays, I do the stretching and balance. And then I take a 30-minute spin class. And I usually go a little bit early and spend about a half an hour before lifting weights. So I've done my 2 to 3 times per week with the weightlifting. I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then Saturday morning, I do a water aerobics class. And then Sunday, I'll either swim or do some brisk walking. Now, this exercise regimen has really helped me lead a great quality life with Parkinson's, while at the same time where I got to meet a number of great people in a lot of group fitness classes. And that really has helped me stay socially engaged. So I highly recommend group fitness classes because you'll meet a lot of great people. They're there to support you, and you get to try new things as well. Now, research from the Parkinson's Foundation, Parkinson's Outcome Project, which is the largest ever clinical study of Parkinson's, suggests that people with PD do at least 2.5 hours of exercise per week for a better quality of life. Now, remember, it's important to consult your healthcare professional or physical therapist to develop that personalized exercise plan that is safe and effective for you. All right, now that we know how to tailor an exercise program to our needs, let's turn our attention to overcoming those exercise challenges. Ooh, yeah, they can be tough. So let's be honest and state the really, reallys, as one of my former bosses used to say. Now, we're all going to face days or weeks that present challenges for us, and exercise is not going to be your top priority. So not everyone every day is going to spring out of bed and say, let's go exercise. Parkinson's has a funny way of tapping us on the shoulder and saying, hey, I just wanted to remind you I'm still here. How about I throw some fatigue, tremors, or balance issues your way? Now, when you're not feeling your best, realize it's okay, that you may need to modify your exercise plans to address how you're feeling. I just want to be sure that we're doing the things in a safe manner, because if you're not feeling well and your balance is off, make sure that you're doing things that you're not going to fall and hurt yourself. But it's also important that we don't use our symptoms to quit exercising as well, because it's easy to stop, and then once you stop, it's hard to get started again. And because remember, if you stop, you lose the benefits of exercise. So let's look at some common challenges and how we can overcome them. And let's start with fatigue and motivation. Two of the areas most of us struggle with are fatigue and then, again, motivation. And first and foremost, prioritize rest. That's going to help you overcome some of the issues with fatigue. And then make sure you're getting enough quality sleep. That's something I try to do. I'm not necessarily great at, but good quality sleep can help prevent or reduce fatigue. Next, try to learn some energy-saving techniques that can help you conserve energy throughout the day. So, for example, break your household chores down into smaller chunks and allow a rest period in between. Or consolidate your shopping trips to minimize, running from store to store to get different things. So you may say, I'm going to go to the grocery store today, and then tomorrow I'll go to a different store where I need something. And then another option is, you can pre-plan and prepare your meals ahead of time too, so that they're easier for you to do during the week. And then pace yourself. Break activities into smaller, more manageable steps. So if you feel fatigued, it's like I say you're trying to eat an elephant. You wouldn't try to eat it all in one bite. You'd break it down into small bites. And the same thing with pacing yourself. Start out small, and then you can always build into it. But it's, as they say, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So it's key to get started, but then pace yourself and then continually build. And then if you need to take breaks, take breaks. There's nothing wrong with that. And then finally, consider medication adjustments. You can talk to your doctor about potentially adjusting your medications to help if fatigue is a significant problem. All right, now let's look at boosting our motivation. First, you want to set realistic goals, and you want to start with small, achievable goals and gradually increase the intensity of your workout. I like to use a system called the SMART goal framework, and that helps me. S is specific. Make your goal specific. So, for instance, I want to start walking so that I can participate in a Parkinson's walk that is 4 miles. That's going to raise money for my favorite foundation. So that's specific. M is measurable. Can you measure the results? Are you able to, if you set time points, week 1, I want to walk a mile, week 2, 3. So you're going to have specific measurable things in there. And your measure might be, yes, at the end I can walk 4 miles. And then A, achievable. Can you achieve this goal, or is it unrealistic? So if you say, oh gosh, I got my class reunion, I need to lose 60 pounds this month, that's not going to be a realistic goal. Or I want to go out and I want to walk a half a marathon with my friend to support a certain foundation. If you haven't been walking, it's going to be very difficult to go out and walk a half a marathon. So make sure that they're realistic. And R is relatable. Is it something that you can relate to and can stay consistent with? Because if you really don't buy into it, you're probably not going to stay consistent with it, and you may just quit. So make sure it's relatable to your goal and what you're trying to do. And then T is time bound. Is this goal time bound? So you know if you're making progress, and then when you reach your goal. Next, find a workout buddy. They can provide both motivation and accountability. On those days you don't feel like it, they can say, come on, let's go. Put those sneakers on, we're going. And then try different activities. So try different types of activities and find the ones you really enjoy. And then here's a key one. Celebrate success. Reward yourself for achieving your goals. And then finally, focus on the benefits. Remind yourself of the positive impacts, both physically and mentally. Now let's look at our second group of challenges, and that's tremors and balance issues. So let's say we have a consistent tremor. Does that mean we can't exercise? Absolutely not. You just have to use some practical tips to help you overcome the challenges with tremors. First, one of the things you can do is focus on relaxation. Using deep breathing techniques can help you both before and during exercise. It helps control your heart rate, and it can help with tremors as well. Do this with myself when tremors are particularly bothersome. I try to take my time and breathe, and I found it effective in helping me manage my tremors. Because think about it, a lot of times when you're stressed, that's when your tremors are worse. So if you can use deep breathing to help slow your breathing and your heart rate down, it's going to help with tremors. Second, use assistive devices as appropriate because they can help you reduce tremors. And one example would be a weighted glove that can help reduce tremors. I recently saw an occupational therapist to help me work on my tremor and some of my fine motor skills because I was starting to have some trouble. And she recommended weighted gloves, and she showed me that they're actually available on Amazon. Ask your healthcare provider if they're right for you, and if they are, they're available at retail, or maybe you can get them through your doctor as well. And then the third tip is to experiment with different movements. Some movements or exercises may be less affected by tremors, so you got to find out what works best for you. Now, suffice it to say, if you have significant tremor, doing dumbbell presses over your head is probably not a good idea. So maybe try resistance bands as an alternative. So try different movements and different types of equipment. And then finally, use support during exercise. Don't be afraid to use a wall, a chair, or a partner for support. I do it all the time. Remember, it's about making progress, so take advantage of the tools that you need. All right, now that we've addressed the challenges of tremors, let's talk about improving our balance so that we can check balance challenges off our list of what's blocking our exercise. First and foremost, start with simple exercises. Don't try to stand on one leg and reach down and grab your ankle because you're probably going to fall over and hurt yourself. So begin with exercises that are easy to balance. So maybe you practice standing on one leg and you have your hand against the wall. That's fine. And eventually try to do it and let go of the wall. Balance has been an issue in my Parkinson's journey, so I've spent probably the past 5 to 6, 7, 8 years working on my balance every day. And I go through a series of balance exercises that take about 10 to 15 minutes, but really have provided a dramatic improvement in my balance. So if you're looking for balance exercises, you can go to my website, liveparkinsons.com, and there on the homepage you can get the 9 balance exercises that are going to help you improve your balance with Parkinson's. These balance exercises, when done consistently, will improve your balance. I'll leave a link in the podcast description again. Now, another option is to try a balance board, and they're designed to help you improve your balance and coordination. I will say they're very challenging at first, but become easier with consistency. But please ensure that you have a spotter when using a balance board for safety because they are challenging. I'm not going to mislead you and be dishonest about it. And then other balance options include taking a yoga or Tai Chi class, and these classes can help you with your balance, flexibility, and mindfulness as well. I've done both of these classes and would highly recommend both of them. Both have helped me to improve my balance and flexibility. And then finally, you can ask to be referred to a physical therapist. They can provide you with exercises to help you improve your balance and your coordination. While all of these challenges have significant impact on our ability to exercise, fatigue, lack of motivation, tremors, and balance issues, I hope you can see that there are strategies that you can use to overcome them and stay consistent with your exercise so that you can reap the benefits. Now, before we move into our final segment, I wanted to share an offer from audible.com. Now, if you're not familiar with audible.com, it's your one-stop source for audio entertainment. They offer an incredible selection of audiobooks across every genre, from bestsellers to new releases, celebrity memoirs, motivation, wellness, business, and more. Audible also includes thousands of podcasts from popular favorites to exclusive new series. As an Audible.com member, you can choose one title per month to keep from their entire catalog, including bestsellers and new releases. The Audible app makes it easy to listen anytime, anywhere, whether you're traveling for work or vacation, cooking dinner, or just going for a walk. Now, new members can try Audible for free for 30 days and receive a free audiobook. So that's free for 30 days and get that free audiobook. Two of the audiobooks I recommend are Happiness of Pursuit by Davis Finney from the Davis Finney Foundation and A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Future by Michael J. Fox. To take advantage of the free 30-day trial and free audiobook, visit www.audibletrial.com/liveparkinsons.com. That's audibletrial.com/liveparkinsons.com. And I'll leave a link in the podcast description. Now, for complete transparency and honesty, if you sign up for the free 30-day trial and free audiobook from Audible, Audible pays me a small commission, which I use to support this podcast. Now, you're under no obligation to become a member. If you just do decide to take advantage of the free trial and the free audiobook, thank you for supporting this podcast. All right, I wanted to tie this all together by discussing how exercise can help alleviate some of your motor symptoms from Parkinson's. Yes, I said that correctly. Exercise can help alleviate some of your motor symptoms. Let's look at the B's, starting with tremor. Exercise can help improve your overall motor control, which can help reduce the severity and frequency of tremors. Exercise can increase your muscle strength because stronger muscles can give you greater stability to counteract your tremors. Remember the old skit? I think it might have been on Saturday Night Live, but it was, I'm Hans and I'm Franz, and we are here to pump you up. So make those muscles stronger and help combat those tremors. Exercise helps to release endorphins, the feel-good hormones that can reduce anxiety and reduce tremors. Now, I don't know about you, but when I get stressed or anxious, my tremors get worse. So get out there and exercise and reduce those tremors. Next up is your favorite of mine, rigidity and stiffness. Now, this is definitely a big one for me, especially in the morning. Exercise can increase your flexibility, and when you use stretching exercises on a consistent basis, it's going to help you improve your range of motion and reduce muscle stiffness. Spend about 10 to 15 minutes every morning stretching, and it really helps me with stiffness. I've also taken yoga classes, which have really helped. Now, I just wrote a blog article and did a podcast on stretching, so check them out. And then finally, bradykinesia, or slowness of movement, one of the classic signs of Parkinson's, of course. Exercise can help enhance or improve your coordination and balance while making it easier to do your everyday tasks. So exercise, when done consistently, can improve your endurance, and that can help you achieve a better pace of movement later on. Now, remember to consult with your healthcare professional before starting any new exercise program. As we've explored in this episode, exercise is a powerful tool for managing your Parkinson's and the related motor and non-motor symptoms that come along with it. Honestly, it's not just about physical fitness or exercise, but about improving your overall quality of life. Now, you have the power to control how you want to live, and exercise can play a vital role. Now, here's some call to actions for you. First and foremost, consult your healthcare professional and physical therapist so they can tailor that exercise program for your specific needs. Next, remember to start small and progress gradually. Don't go out there and kill yourself on the first day, and then you're so sore and stiff that you decide you're not going to exercise anymore. And then begin with exercises that are comfortable and something that you enjoy. So they're comfortable, you do them gradually, and you enjoy it. And then gradually you want to increase the duration and intensity of your workouts. And then find an exercise buddy to help keep you motivated and accountable. Explore Parkinson's specific exercise programs. Now, there's many different specialized exercise programs that are designed for individuals with Parkinson's. For example, Rocksteady Boxing is an example. And then finally, share your story. By sharing your experiences with others, exercise and Parkinson's, you can help inspire others and help raise awareness about the benefits of physical activity. So if you enjoy exercise and you're reaping the benefits, share that with others so that they can learn from you and start to take up exercise. Now, remember, exercise is a journey. It's not a destination. So with some consistency and perseverance, you can reap the benefits of exercise and improve your quality of life and live your best life with Parkinson's. Now, before we close, I wanted to request that you visit liveparkinsons.com and sign up for the free monthly newsletter. I just sent out the September newsletter that was focused on Parkinson's and pain, but there's a lot of new information on current research, new medications, and webinars that are out there. So if you get a chance, please visit liveparkinsons.com and subscribe to the monthly newsletter. And then recently I just added a Ko-fi page, which you can help support the podcast by buying a cup of coffee. So if you have the opportunity and you feel that this podcast provides a benefit and it's informational, you can go to the Ko-fi page and buy a coffee to help support the podcast and to help me maintain and keep the cost under control to keep providing information to you. I want to thank you again for listening. And I hope you have a spectacular day, and I hope to see you on future podcasts. Thanks again.